For more, let's bring in host of the Guy Benson Show on Fox News Radio, Guy Benson. Good to see you, sir. Okay, so the numbers, not the video there notwithstanding, the numbers on this, on immigration and border, look pretty good for the president. Both in terms of vision and execution here, he seems to be doing pretty well.
Yeah, and on the second number set that we put up there, 46% of people, a plurality, saying he's being too tough on some of these asylum seekers. And by the way, asylum seekers is definitely a loaded way of putting it, as opposed to illegal immigrants. I think the numbers would be different. But if you add up people who say he is being appropriately tough or not tough enough, look at that. It's actually more, that combined number, than those who are saying not tough enough. So this is clearly a strong point for the president, for the administration. This was a key promise. The problem was completely out of control, and they've come in and made all these huge improvements without a single change in the law, which is what the Democrats told us was necessary to do anything. Obviously, that was untrue.
How much of some of this is being, like, if you look at really solidly strong approval on border security, not so much, less so on immigration and deportations, is being influenced by the out-of-control media coverage or regime media coverage on it? Because
I think they're trying, right? They're definitely trying.
By the media who did not cover the wide-open border for 4 years.
Well, and even headlines about deportations, you'll see a New York Times headline, I think yesterday, talking about a man who's been here for 21 years and they've sent him home to a place he doesn't recognize and doesn't know. And then DHS was like, by the way, the reason he was in America for so long is because 15 of those years were a kidnapping felony prison sentence as an illegal immigrant. So they whitewash a lot of even low-hanging fruit cases to try to fool people into thinking that a lot of this is like totally improper. But overall, people aren't buying it. And when the facts come out in a lot of these cases, I think the things, public opinion turns on them.
Yeah, the narrative is so stretched. Even if you're paying, sort of mid-level attention to this, you can see exactly what's happening, Guy.
Yeah, and they're throwing everything that they can at this issue to try to demonize it and go to bat for illegal immigrants to try to prevent deportations and demonize it. And it's still majority support for the president and his number one issue. So, and I think the more people learn about, for example, the Maryland father, Mr. Garcia, the more we learn, the worse it looks for him and for his champions.
Right.
Yeah, and you don't have the same rights, the same legal rights as a citizen.
Not even close.
Full stop. Onto this. President Trump is taking a shot at Act Blue, the left's major online donation platform, on deck to sign this presidential memorandum that it will essentially try to crack down on foreign contributions to American elections, which is illegal. But again, this was probably going on because it benefits the Democrats.
A lot of Republicans in Congress have been asking these questions for years. Now they have subpoena power. There's investigative power at the DOJ. It is interesting. I don't know what's happening or is not happening at Act Blue. There are credible questions about foreign donations. What I do know is some of the very top people at that organization all left in a hurry all at once pretty recently. And you're sort of wondering why. Maybe we'll find out.
Probably not because, there was like some really compelling other job opportunity that they all wanted. I don't know what it is.
Strange timing, but the New York Times did is either the Times or the Journal weeks ago did a big story about it and made me say,
Things that make you go, Somebody wrote a song with that title, as I recall.
Yes, but I'm too old to remember. Again, brains a sieve to this. The Democrat Party in a free fall, and who doesn't love some delicious infighting? It hasn't even reached a fever pitch yet. Waiting for that. The Dems need young blood, but DNC Vice Chair David Hogg's strategy is ruffling some chicken feathers.
Voters should decide who our primary nominees are, not DNC leadership. I have great respect for David Hogg. I think he's an amazing young leader who's done so much already to help move our movement forward. And while, certainly, I understand what he's trying to do. As I've said to him, if you want to challenge incumbents, you're more than free to do that, but just not as an officer of the DNC.
Pretty interesting little back and forth played out in the public media rather than behind closed doors. What do you make of this?
Hogg is talking about it publicly, so they have to respond. There's a ton of people in the party who are furious with David Hogg about that. we saw some perfunctory praise there from the chairman, basically saying, listen, kid, you literally have a job to do, and what you're discussing wanting to do is the opposite of what the job is supposed to be. If you want to be shooting at our incumbents, in terms of taking them out politically, you can do that from outside the tent. But if you are an officer within the party, you can't do that. And I guess Hogg is pushing back, saying, well, actually, technically, if you look at the bylaws, I can. So maybe the fight isn't over yet, but they want to stop this. And this is what you get for having someone like this join the party as the vice chairman. Like, I don't know what they thought they were signing up for. Well, this is what you get with David Hogg.
Yeah, like, did you do a job interview? Did you talk to the guy? Did you kind of discern what he might do in this role?
Did you look at any of his social media history?
Or could you do that, maybe?
Guy, you're the best.
Thanks
Guy
for having me.
Benson.
Great stuff. Good to see him.